Hi guys, welcome back to another biblical word. And today's biblical word is an important word. The name of this biblical word is the death of Jezebel, decided and decreed. The death of Jezebel, decided and decreed. And this word is going to be in two parts. There's another message that I have to decree per God's instructions in regards to my mother. But before I get to that, I will just give out the prophetic word. And this is about the death of Jezebel. And we know that the story of Jezebel is found in the biblical books of 1 Kings 16 to 29 to 31 and 2 Kings 9, 30 to 37. And a lot of you have been dealing with the Jezebel spirit, where you have people that are using witchcraft, trying to act like they're God. Some of you have found out that those Jezebel-like spirits who's been used by the devil as tools to come against you in warfare has been your mother. It could be your aunt, or any relative. Your enemies are the members of your own household for a lot of you. And God is saying in this time that the Jezebel spirit is coming to an end. The Jezebel spirit is coming to the end, and the death of Jezebel. And he wanted me to give a highlight as to the thing in the storyline of Jezebel. And in 1 Kings 16, 29 to 33, it introduces Jezebel, her background, and her marriage to King Ahab, leading Israel into the worship of Baal. And that is found in 1 Kings 16, 29 and 33. It talks about Jezebel and her background and her marriage to King Ahab, leading Israel into the worship of Baal. And 1 Kings 18, 4 and 13, verses 4 and 13 talks about Jezebel's orders, the persecution and death of the Lord's prophet. Okay, and we know that Naboth was killed. And 1 Kings 18 talks about, and it describes the conflict between Elijah and Jezebel's prophet of Baal on Mount Carmel. And 1 Kings 19 talks about Jezebel threatens Elijah, causing him to flee for his life. Okay, and 1 Kings 21, 1 through 16, Jezebel manipulates Ahab to kill Naboth and seize his vineyard. Okay, to seize his vineyard. And so Naboth was killed, and because he refused to give up his vineyard, and Jezebel plotted, and he was killed. Okay, and 2 Kings 9, 30 through 37 talks about Jezebel's violent death. It describes as she is thrown from a window and trampled on by Jehu's horses, leading to her being eaten by dogs. So her death was very, very disturbing due to the type of lifestyle that Jezebel lived. And this spirit can inhabit either man and woman. It doesn't have to be a woman that is carrying the Jezebel spirit. It could be a man that's carrying the Jezebel spirit, but it is a very seductive, destructive spirit of sexual immorality and so many different things. Jezebel is often portrayed as an archetype of wickedness due to her idolatry, her ruthless suppression of God's prophets, and her disregard for common people. Her story illustrates the spiritual corruption and internal conflict that weakens the kingdom of Israel. And a lot of us as God's people have been dealing with this type of spirit that wants to control, that want to kill every area in your life. They are coming against you, trying to take your life and cause early death in your life, and controlling and siphoning your energy and trying to take your money and inheritance, the inheritance that you're known for with God for. They want to take everything, snuff out your life that God has imbued within you. So this Jezebel spirit is very treacherous. And some of you have had to deal with this type of spirit inhabiting. Majority of you can relate to this as a mother coming against you like a demonic There's no words to describe how bad it is. But it is so strong, this spirit. And if there are people that allow themselves to be used, you have to separate yourself, because it means your very life being wiped out. They are so treacherous. Their schemes of witchcraft and slander and lies are so treacherous that they want to wipe you off the face of the planet. Okay? And so, as you can see, she was the daughter of Jezebel, a priest king of Sidon. Jezebel married King Ahab of Israel. And idolatry and persecution, she promoted the worship of Baal, a foreign god, and ordered the killing of Hebrew prophets and Yahweh who opposed her actions. Naboth's vineyard. Jezebel framed Naboth for blasphemy after he refused to sell his ancestral vineyard to Ahab. Using false charges and 2 witnesses, she secured the vineyard for the king, leading to Naboth's and his son's deaths. The confrontation with Elijah. The prophet Elijah confronted Jezebel and Ahab about their wickedness. After a contest on Mount Carmel, Elijah had the prophets of Baal executed. Jezebel, however, vowed to kill Elijah. Okay? And what did Jesus say about Jezebel? Okay? And in Revelation 2:20, I have this against you, said Jesus, that you tolerate the woman Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess and is teaching and seducing my servants to practice sexual immorality and to eat food sacrificed to idols. Okay? And that is what Jesus had said in Revelation 2:20. And the moral story of Jezebel is turning away from God to serve false gods. There are consequences. And when someone tries to kill one of God's people and anointed, he will make sure that that person's plans and actions does not succeed. Or God will take the necessary actions to mean so that you would meet your timely demise, because God is a God that does not play about his prophets and his anointed. He said, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Now, this part of the word is particular from my mother. God has asked me to declare and decree this. And for those of you that know, my mother is a witch. Her name is Elna John. She's been trying to kill everything in my life and wipe me out. As a prophetess, she's been trying to wipe me out and kill me. But to God be the glory, I'm still here to tell the story. So God has told me to speak to my mother and make the final decree. Elna John, God has decreed your time on this earth has come to an end. You have chosen to go against God, conspiring in manslaughter against me, Shaquille John, your daughter, as God has anointed me to be a prophetess, and you have continued to do evil, operating from the Jezebel spirit, going to witchcraft practitioner and serving other gods. God said he will no longer warn you, Elna John. He will no longer warn you to let my people go. God has decreed you are the ringleader who has orchestrated this corruption against me, your daughter Shaquille John, to try to kill me, manslaughter with spiritual witchcraft to make it look like it's normal death. But God has decreed and declared that I shall live and not die. God said your death will be likened unto Jezebel. God said your death will be likened unto Jezebel, for you are wicked. He has sent me to warn you that the time will come. God has decreed death upon you, Elna John, and no witch or warlock or devil can undo it. I'm going to repeat that, because when God has made something established, he will want me to repeat it twice. Okay? God has decreed death upon you, Elna John, and no witch or warlock or devil can undo it. I must be obedient. Even though you are my mother, I must be obedient to God. And thank you for listening. Until next time, be safe.